Hi everyone, it's Kerry here. I'm here today to show you a remake of a envelope pocket flip that you could put in the center of your journal. So this is the original that I'm pretty sure I bought either at Kmart or Target here in Toowoomba in Australia. It's got like a little pocket there with a gusset, and yeah, I thought I'll just try and remake it because I thought it could perhaps go in the center of your journal, sewn in when you bind it. So let's have a try. I'll show you the ones that I've made along the way in trying to do these videos. The first one I did was a practice, and it's on double-sided card, not too thick a card, and I did it with the gusset on the right hand side. When I did the gusset, I had to do a separate gusset because I'd cut it off without thinking of the gusset on that side. But I'll show you how I did that, because on the next video with the 12 by 12 sheet of paper, I worked out how to do it with the gusset in place. Now, as you can see, because this is a really good, you can see the colors there, the one that I made, the pocket isn't as deep. The one that they've got, the pocket is a bit deeper. It comes down into a V, so it's not identical, but it's fairly similar, and it would work the same way. If you want, you could cut a notch into the pocket. And then the other one I did another one. I've done a couple now. I actually did it the opposite direction. So you open it up in there to that side, and as you can see, I've done the notch in that one. And you actually have that much left over to make tags, and a tiny bit more, like offcuts of corners and things. But that's a fair bit amount there for tags, etc. So we're going to start by remaking one, though, these ones, which are as close to the original as possible. And then we might try, if I remember, we might try and do one out of, because these are all made out of 12 by 12s with a bit of leftover. We might make one out of a foolscap piece, which I haven't tried yet. We'll see how we go. Okay, so I'll leave those there. Get my glue out the way. So I'm starting, this is the piece of paper I've decided to do. Now, none of the ones I've done are directional. This has got a pattern, and I keep forgetting when I do them. That's why the pink one ended up going the wrong direction, because I always start with it on this pretty side up, the side that I prefer looking at me, because that's what I tend to do. And then I go, oh, I've measured it and everything, and I like that side better. And then I went, okay, well then I'm going to fold it the other way. And that's why, partly why that one ended up going the other way. But that's okay, because I wanted to try one going the other way anyway. So you can decide. I'll do it again going that way. So you can decide. So if you want, whichever way you want to have your flip, if you want your flip with the pocket on the left, that will be the side. So the pocket will always, I always do it, I always tend to make it with the pocket on this side. So if you want, whichever side you want the pocket to be on the right, have that facing up. Okay, so that's the outside is more or less the side No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so whichever side you want the pocket on, if you want it on the left when you open it, have the outside up. If you want it on the right when you open it, have the outside down. So I would like to have this side up, so I'm going to cut it with this side up. Okay, and I'd like to have the pocket on the left and the pointy bit on the right. Okay, so I hope I didn't confuse you. Okay, so what we first of all need to do is we need to cut it down to, so the height of the finished item is 7 inches, but we need another 2 inches for the pocket. You could probably make a couple and see which way up, which way it goes, and how you want to play with it for getting your pockets on the correct side. So do a couple of practice ones on paper that you're not overly fond of, or ones that could go in any which way, and then you can work out what I mean. Oh, sorry, squeaky. I'll have to call that squeak, won't I? Okay, so this I'm going to cut off because I don't want that on my, that's going to be part of the stuff that I cut away. So I want this on my original piece. That's the first thing you have to decide if you've got something odd on your page like I have got. So I'm going to get rid of this. So this part here, I'm going to cut off and hope it's straight. And I'm going to cut this at 9 inches. That's the first. So this will go towards tags at the end. Okay. And at the moment, this is the only bit of cutting you do on your board, on your cutting board. But you do a bit of other stuff. Okay, so then we get a bone folder, or a ruler and a bone, folder, or a scorer. I'm lucky I've got one of these. Took me years to get one of these. Okay, so this is 12 inches wide. I want the pocket on this side, but on the, yeah, I want the pocket on this side, and I want this on the outside. Okay, so just try which way, if you're not too fussy, which side you have your pocket on. So I'm going to score. This is the side I'm having my pocket on. So I'm going to score that. You go, for your gusset, you need a little bit on for the gusset for your pocket. So you score it at 11 3/4. Okay, so that's your first score. Then you, if that's the bottom of, that's what I want as my bottom, as the bottom of my item, my piece. I score that, turn that over, and I score it so there's 2 inches at the bottom here. So it's cut at 9, so I score that at 7. Okay, so that's the depth of your pocket, is 2 inches. I've scored it at 7 because I'm scoring it. Okay, so that's your fold up. So there's your little gusset. Okay, now I've got to do this one. So that's that so far. Okay, got to do the little tab. So that's 2 inches wide. It starts out as 2 inches wide, and I'm actually only going to go down to where, because I'm going to cut some of this off, and I'd like to have a nice solid piece that's not scored that I can use for tags. So I'm going to go from the 2 inches down to the score line. You can see where it is. Or if you forget, it's okay. You can go all the way down. But gone over it a little bit. So 2 inches, and that's where that's going to get cut off for your little tab. Okay, and then we're going to cut this, and I have to double check. I think it's, that goes there. So 2. Go ahead and cut that at 7. Score that at 7. So you've got a 2 score and a 7 score, and the 7 score will go all the way down to the bottom of your page. So you've got your little gusset on that side, so you need a little gusset on that side, and that gusset is also 1/4 of an inch, but you only go up to your 2-inch score because you don't want to score that onto your main part of your item. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut out all of that. It's going to be gone, but you're going to leave your gusset. That's your pocket, that's your other gusset, and then that bit there is going to be cut out as well. Okay, and then that's going to be your triangular tab. That's going to be the front and the back, or the inside and outside of your piece. Okay, so that's the scoring done, and it might be easier to see it from this side to cut it. So first of all, not sure where it's easy to see it. Okay, I'm going to cut out this piece here above the gusset. So it's only a tiny, tiny bit. It's quite hard. Oh, there we go. Might be able to see it better on this side. So I'm just cutting off this little bit here. It's hard to see. Just more or less running my scissors along because I can't see where I'm cutting. Okay. And because that's going to be folded in, we don't want it to interfere with the folds. We cut little divots into it. You know how you do for pockets. And then we're going to cut this big piece out. Okay. So I'm going to cut along here. So this is the piece that is left at the bottom. Now you cut that all the way to that fold, past the gusset fold, and then you cut there on the outside, and then you cut a little snippet there, and a little snippet here. And that's all your folding done. So you've got this nice big piece there. There's just that little bit, and then there's just 2 more little bits that'll be left over. Move this out the way somewhere. Never have enough room on my desk. Okay, so there's my bone folder. Okay, so we've got the pocket that'll go up this way. Okay, the 2 gussets. 1, 2, so they'll go in there nicely. That will fold over. Nice and straight. And then that will fold over. Okay, there, so that'll be a little folio. And what we need to do now is we need to work out a little triangle. I mean, you don't have to do it, but this, I think that'd be nice. In actual fact, you could, if you had a nice circular shape, you could make it into a circle, a half circle, but I don't. So the easiest way I worked out to do it was your folio is 7.5, so half of 7.5 of your folio is 7 inches, so half of that is 3.5 inches. So just do a tiny little line at 3.5 inches, and it's 2 inches wide. So half of that is 1 inch, obviously, and then again half of that is 1 inch. So just tiny little pencil marks. One inch there, and then I can't, there we go, I couldn't even see it, sorry for my head. 1 inch and 3.5. Just draw a faint line across. You can either cut it with your cutting tool if you feel happy doing that. I can never get mine in the right spot. Or you can just use your scissors, which is what I'm going to do quickly. And hope you can see it. I have shadows from my light, so it's a bit tricky sometimes. Okay. Just rub out any lines. Okay, I won't decorate this or anything, but literally that's all you've got left over from your 12 by 12 piece of paper. You've got a strip that you could possibly do in some sort of making, a couple of triangles that aren't really useful but might be, and that you could use for a couple of nice sized tags that fit perfectly in your pocket. And there's another one that you can use. And glue this down. Here's your little gussets. My glue is going to misbehave because I'm on camera. There we go, it's going now. Fold that over and press it down for a little bit. Okay. So if I decided I wanted on the outside, I have just folded that pocket the other way and folded it that way. But I like that on the other side, and obviously it goes to the other direction. So that's my folio, and then you can decorate it how you want. Okay, and you can put a little bit of Velcro in. And as I said, you could grab your journal that you're making and sew it in to your center, and then you've got like a nice little, when you flip through, get to the middle, and you've got a nice little secret place, or yeah, but that could go in the center of your journal, sewn in as an idea. Okay, now so that's 2 on the right side with the pockets on the left as you open it, and 2 on the left side with the pocket on the right as you open it. Those are made out of 12 by 12s. So let's try. It's not going to be the same size because the pocket, unless you have 2 sheets of paper, the pocket will be tiny. So I've got a Australian A4 paper, which is, get my long ruler. Whoops. Told you everything would slide down. Australian A4 paper is 11 3/4 nearly by 8 1/4 inches. Okay, so I will show you. If you open that up, it's just the right length, but you won't get the pocket, and you won't get the gusset for the pocket, which is the way I made the first one without the gusset. So what I'll do is I will make this, but it'll be a bit shorter in order to get a slightly bigger pocket. Okay, so I might make it 1/2 inch shorter so we get a decent sized pocket, and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's try that, see how we manage. So we won't need to cut the end off. We'll start by don't want to go up too high so you can't see. We'll start by scoring. If I can get my ruler out the way. It's so long, it's a 40 centimeter one. We'll start by scoring the page along the long part at 2 inch. Oh no, we don't need it at 2 inches. What did we say? Let's do it at 1 3/4 inches. That's not too bad a pocket. So that's for your pocket, 1 3/4. Now you can alter this to anything you want. Okay. And we could actually make the gusset. We'll just make it all a little bit smaller. So make the gusset. I'll go out to 12 because my brain doesn't work very well. I go up to 12, and so hang on. It is so just do 2 2/8, 1/4 inch back from where the paper comes up to. So that's 1/4 inch, 2 little lines. Okay, that's, and then we have to work out. So we'll make everything a little bit smaller. We'll make the fold over with the little tag at 1 1/2. Okay, and then we'll make, let's just try this. We'll score the next score at 6 1/2, and that one goes all the way down, and then we'll do 2 notches in to make a little other. There you go. So that will work. Okay, so we don't get the pocket, the tags out, but we get this little bit here, which you could use towards something. and that'll get cut off as well. So that'll go, and that'll go. Okay, you'll actually be able to see nicely on this paper how I cut it. Okay, so we'll start with this one. I'll turn it over because it's easier to cut. Okay. I'll cut there. Cut that little corner off straight away. Gusset. And then we'll cut this one off. So you can really do any size with any size paper you've got. Just get the idea of which ones are bigger than which ones. All this goes through to there, a little bit further, and then that. Just got to get the idea of which folds. I think I've done it wrong. Let's try that. I think I've done it wrong though. Okay, so we fold that like that. Oh no, that'd be right. It's a bit, so I need to, oh no, that's perfect. Okay. So what you need to do is always have the panel that's next to the flap, next to the triangular flap, needs to be bigger than the panel with the pocket, so that there's room for the panel to go, it to go over nicely, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. I hope I'm not talking gibberish. I apologize if I am. Let me know in the comments. And please, if you don't mind my videos, if you wouldn't mind putting a like, appreciate it. Okay, so because this is the same on both sides as paper, you have the choice of either folding up the pockets this way, nice and straight, with the flappies going this way. I've got all the very technical terms. And then you fold it over, and I've got to make the triangle. So you can either have it that way, that opens that way, or you can do exactly the opposite, which is what I'm going to do. Get that nice and neat. That goes up there, nicely and neatly. Okay, that will fold over to there, nice and straight. And then we've got to decide. So now I might have to use some maths because this has changed. That's not the ruler. This is the ruler. So this one is now in inches. Okay, it is 6.5 inches. Inches-ish. So it'll be 3 1/4. So it's not much smaller than the other ones. And then I've made this narrow as well, narrower. So this is 1.5. So half of 1.5 is 3/4 of an inch. You could change it even, doesn't have to be at that angle. I just thought that was easier. Might decide it's too steep when I actually go to do it. So 3/4 of an inch. Oh, it's not behaving itself. 3/4 of an inch is there. Okay. So that will be this ruler is too long for me. Where's my little one gone? That's a bit smaller. That'll do. Might decide that's too much of a slope. Then again, I might not. See when I've drawn it. It's quite a versatile thing. You can do whatever you want with whatever you've got. There you go. Okay. Yeah, that looks fine. Cut that off. You can even tear it if you wanted to. Okay. That one's going to go that way. I'm going to get some glue. Glue that down. Put the pin in the glue. And then you've got, this is a little bit thinner than the other card, but if you're putting it in a journal in the signature straight away, it doesn't probably matter. Okay, so there you go. That's, I'll put it next to this one. So this is the original size. It's actually the same width turned out. It's just a tiny bit shorter. And the pocket is just a little bit shorter as well. So that's done with the A4 and it's all done out of one piece as well. You only have that little bit of an offcut and that which isn't really worth much. So it's, you don't have as much for tags, but you could make some of the baby tags out of it. And yeah, so there you go. So we can do it out of a foolscap page. It just doesn't go as far. Here's the one I made just then. That's the one that I made. That's also going that way. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and maybe you could do some to either just put as happy mail or to send to somebody and fill with ephemera, or to sew into your journal in the center as part of the signature, or just to put in a pocket itself. Like it could go in a pocket or just be clipped into the side of a journal as to add as a little part that you could take in and put in and take out. So there's a few that I've made. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.